out and go ahead and do that. Ciao. Good luck. Break a leg, or have somebody else do it for you. Why?
I actually could have started this whole campaign with a broken leg, but that's fine. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna just mentally prepare to have to roll a new character by the end of this. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Lee, just to make sure, my screen is not supposed to be black, or... Okay, just making sure. Oh, so that's why we can't see your camera. I don't know how I feel about the wording of seeks to survive. Okay, yeah, so, well, yes, but I'm hoping that it's not gonna be a challenge to survive. Alright. I'll just make sure I have a character in my back pocket by the end of this. It's fine. I am legitimately worried, though, if my character bites the dust, if only for the fact that my next character is probably not going to be a healer. Yeah. I mean, it's also... You also just, like, tend to run a higher difficulty campaign, which isn't bad. I'd rather this than us breezing through it. If a legitimate character death in the first episode doesn't set the tone for this whole thing, I don't know what will. I love how the Facebook just says Facebook URL. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. No, on the Diesel Shot stream is starting. I have hit points again. Does this include my holy symbol being missing? Right. Well, gonna look around my surroundings first. Oh wow, that actually knocks out almost all of my spells. Okay, that's fun. Is this like the only cell around here, or? Okay. I'm just gonna lay down and hope the person just passes me by. Yeah. Alright, where's deception? Alright then. Let's get up and like see. Is there anything else? Is there anything notable in the cell at all besides? Nope, I'm not our shady scout. Oh,
I mean, that's not great that that happened, but it's good that. Okay, 1-2-1-2. Laird, are you reading me?
it's not a stream without technical difficulties.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that shout out, Laird. So yes, very true, very true. Lonnie, to summarize what happened really fast, someone walked by, and Lonnie pretended to be asleep, and she has been deprived of her effects, with the exceptions of her clothing and a different set of clothing, her priestly raiments, including a holy symbol. And yeah, you don't know how much time has passed. Your head is pretty groggy, and you feel sore around your core. You know, where you were being like repeatedly rammed by a satyr's horns. So that's gonna require a little bit of a walk off. You have a narrow strip of walkable area between the back of this nub of the cavern and these iron bars. You see, at the edge of your vision, you see to the south something that looks like a man-made wall. And perhaps some steps ascending? But it's not quite clear. You could roll me a perception to see what else. You also see shadowy figures, shadowy shapes of some sort through this hole. Lamentably, you are beaten and disoriented in a strange place, and although you grok well the nature of this place, your eyes fail you in this unfamiliar terrain.
I don't suppose there's anything I can do with like a medicine check to help me not feel as shitty.
You could make a medicine check to try and like figure things out here. So, you determined that the lactic acid across your body could be quieted and probably help your headache by imbibing a certain kind of tea from the fresh fresh moss tea. However, you don't have any fresh moss or anything to make tea with. But in general, you know that water is good for headaches. Unfortunately, you have not been left a water skin.
Rude.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so mine is the only cell entirely, not like the only occupied cell, the only cell at all.
The only cell that you can see.
Okay. Well, I guess that doesn't mean my friends are safe quite yet.
Indeed, the last you saw of them was disappearing around a corner as blood and violence ensued. So, Lani, you begin to hear a pleasant sound. Like a flute playing. Do I not have a flute sound? Of course I don't have a flute sound.
I guess it's not a very good flute player.
Yeah, you hear. But as it strikes your ears, you feel your head, your eyes dragging, the eyelids growing heavier. Can you roll me a wisdom save?
Alright, now that I've figured out my character has this, is this magic?
That is, so what is the source of your
advantage? It is a racial feature. Advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws against magic.
That's pretty good magic resistance. Second only to go on T. I would say I'd call this a spell-like ability. So I'd call it magic. Give it to me. Yeah, gnome cunning. Yeah, you're a cunning little gnome.
Man, that is usually not that is not how I would usually describe Lani, and nor did it really matter.
You find yourself asleep, but awake in a dream. In a dream not unlike others you have had before. You find yourself floating adrift in what you can only describe as a void. As Leland really quickly gets that void ready. Pop. 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 Yes. Lani, alone in the void. But you're not quite alone. You feel like there's something right behind you, something different. You've had the stream before, but never quite like this. Almost like a different eyes upon you this time. You feel vision behind you, judgment looming.
Hello?
You feel the presence grow closer behind you, but does not respond.
Am I able to move? Can I look behind me?
You look behind yourself, twisting in a formless, shapeless void without gravity, up or down. You twist your body and see an eye, a piercing eye, rippling with water. It is water, but in its heart, you see the woods. Make me a charisma save.
Is this also magic?
No.
Okay.
Oh. Lani feels herself enter into a trance. The eye beams out across the woods, and now you survey the lands all around the woods. You see far and wide as the frickin' Roll20 does not refresh out to that map. Yeah.
It's fine. I just stared at Black Void anyways.
Bro, greetings. What is your situation? I'm not with Ned at this time. Britta, I'll take care of the sheeps, although I do be streaming at the moment. Wait. My sister wanted to know how to get a certain kind of wood in Minecraft. I'm gonna have to go take care of that after the stream. Point is, you feel as if though your own eye penetrates the woods. You see vast swaths even. You see villages, a town, and a charred ruin out across the land. And furthermore, very far, zooming across plains riddled with scrubland and orchards, olive gardens. You see a mountain, and at its foot, a grove. You gaze upon the druids there, cowls pulled taut, a green flame dancing, a ritual reaching apex, a tongue you have been denied rising. And then, you snap back. The eye sears itself into your head. It's too much. It's a blazing burden. You feel all the water in your body trying to escape as you sweat. And make a con save.
Man, all the saves today.
Indeed. Ah, but you take it. You feel as if this eye lurks behind you still as you awaken, after having tossed and turned, limbs splayed out. And before you stand 3 satyrs. Is it a black screen for you right now?
Oh, yay, vision.
Hold on, wait, have you not been seeing this the whole time?
No, I jumped to the stream real quick since it seemed like I was supposed to be seeing stuff, so I kind of got it.
Okay. So yeah, you still hear those flutes being played, and you see the satyr who does it take his lips off and say, "Ah, the wild cub awakens. Tell me, how did you dream?"
I don't know what you mean.
You see a growling face on the satyrs behind him. One of them, the shaman who estranged you. The other, the one that beat you unconscious.
Motherfuckers.
Oh? I think very much that you do. He traces in the air a symbol. An eye. He snaps his fingers and it becomes a moon. And then stars. Almost like smoky tendrils escape from his nails. He waves it away and says, I know why your tribe gives someone those markings.
She quickly, just covers up her forehead marking.
Yes. You are a seer. It is only natural that you would come to this place, but first, you look so famished. Here, he slides a bowl of water through the bars. Drink. The water is remarkably clear. It certainly doesn't look like regular river water.
Nature check? I'm not particularly keen to trust them.
Sure. Yeah, you can pop a nature check. Alright. Those waters seem almost preternaturally clean, almost like they are the ideal. Almost like an echo of the true thing, a form without the shape of reality, yet holding hyper-real within the bowl. It seems as if though it might shift out at any moment by virtue of its perfect surface. The waves unbound by the raw, rough-hewn wood, far too familiar to the touch. Yes, there is something, the touch of the Fae, about this water.
But it didn't seem like anything got added to the water, right?
Nope. This seems very much undiluted.
Okay. She murmurs out a very quiet thank you before she drinks.
Alright. You drink a bit. You feel relieved. It is, pretty nice to have after the big sweat.
Means.
Yeah. And, it's pretty good. It lacks the electrolytes, but, no Gatorade. But it's still very refreshing. And the satyr across from you, sort of bows a little on one knee with his pipe still up. He says, Well, my manners, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Veril. Tell me, who are you, child of the woods?
Hesitantly, she says, Lani.
Lani, great to make your acquaintance. I hope my friends here, Gaff in particular, he gesticulates to the shaman, didn't do anything too untoward upon first meeting you. I understand things were a little chaotic.
She does not exactly give a very nice look in Gaff's direction.
Thank you. Gaff just harumphs and says, She's an invader. She's working with them, and she's seen us. She's seen our... Veril puts a swift, stern finger to Gaff's lips before he can finish that word and says, Now, we have a lovely guest, and it would do to be impolite. After all, we stand before one with a great art in her bones, who carries behind her eyes a connection to a greater sight. Thank you so much, Q Prime. Yeah.
Are my friends okay?
I cannot say that for sure. After some complications with the Guardian of the Waters, I believe they left this place, leaving you all alone. They weren't your tribe mates, were you? These friends?
She shakes her head, but she looks more relieved.
Well, you can't expect loyalty from people who don't value the same things you do. After all, what is loyalty but a co-alignment of the spheres of the soul? Tell me, Lani, were you loyal to them and the people who left you?
Yes, but why is this... Why am I here?
Why are you here? Well, because you aided and abetted people who took a hostage, forced their way into our little sanctum here, and committed murder on our very grounds. They're freshly buried, and now the humans are want for blood. You know how humans love their feuds. So that rather makes you an accomplice. In the woods, it is a simple matter. Your pack killed members of ours, and now we have you in our power. I think you know the laws of nature well enough, little gnome. But I am not the savage face. I am not the maw that tears. No, I have brew for that. Myself, I much prefer the finer things in life. He plays a note, and you feel it strikes a chord in you. You remember it as you were falling asleep. You remember it even though you couldn't hear it, as the eye closed in behind you. And now you remember it as if though a nostalgic bit of lost memory coming back. Your headache diffuses into a general fuzz across your brain. Makes it hard to remember anything, really. You feel numb at the core and warm at the tips. Veril inclines his head and says, "Tell me, Lani, what brought you here? Was it some foolish errand for humans?"
I've been telling you, we wanted to come and hear you out and see if there was a more peaceful solution.
Roll me an insight. Is insight intelligence based?
It is wisdom based.
Ah, that's good for you. So yeah, you when these satyrs see that you're here to try and negotiate peace, you don't sense happiness about that. In fact, it seems like that is directly counter to Veril's agenda here. You recall that the Chrome Hooves have a non-aggression pact with Kobatoth. It wouldn't make sense for the Chrome Hooves. Well, it would be in contravenance of their agreement for them to join some sort of conflict here, but you don't get the sense that Veril is in charge of the Chrome Hooves. But he does seem to be calling the shots with these Chrome Hooves. Lani, you have been misled. A dreamer. You are clouded. A sleepwalk has brought you here. Signs you could not divine. Tell me, has it never been the case that you have received a vision you didn't quite understand? Your gift is potent, and you are but a mortal. But I can help you. There's something here, your true purpose here, Lani. That thing which will make you whole. You already feel it, don't you? Your stomach strikes cold within a numb core, and you can feel the lining of your organs as it just expands, icily flowing. The waters, Lani. Don't the waters call to you? Now your eyelids grow heavy, and again, every time you blink, all you can see is a looming eye breaking the surface of a pool. A perfect pool shimmering outward in every direction.
Can I like pinch myself really hard or something like that?
You can pinch yourself real hard.
Doesn't do anything to like shake the fogginess.
Hit off and rock. Not really. You don't get a very you feel like the sense, but it doesn't penetrate the overwhelming warmth on your exterior, like fuzzy warmth of the exterior, the numbness at your core, nor like the coldness deep within you. You do feel refreshed. You feel by the water. You feel refreshed. Varel says, "Tell me, Lani, what reason did you have to travel with these so-called peacemakers who have bloodied their blades on these humans?"
Out of curiosity, do I feel like compelled outside of myself to tell the truth, or
No, nothing here seems to be forcing you to tell the truth. You can be full of shit.
they only struck because you were going to hurt them?
Me? I wasn't there. You don't mean Gaff, do you? Ah, my dear sweet Gaff. He can be a little swift of hoof. Gaff snarls and inclines his horns a little at you. But, nevertheless, I heard a slightly different story. I heard your companions attacked one of our patrols and killed most of them in the woods.
They ambushed us first.
Oh. Fascinating. I'm sure you'd like to get a chance to share your side of the story.
Are you not the one in charge here?
Oh, well. I'm always in charge, Lani, but this little rock sarcophagus isn't my idea of a palace, nor a fine meadow for feasting in. I'm here as a guest, while I handle some diplomatic concerns. I'm just here with some of my tribe. As for the honorable organization, they've proven amusing neighbors. But I could take you out of here. Of course, Horn would never let you go, while they thought you were working for their enemy. The satyrs to either side of him grow a little bit closer to the bars, looming at you. Heads lowered slightly to show their horns. Varel's demeanor remains calm.
This doesn't seem like a very good way to ask for loyalty.
Oh, loyalty. Again, dear Lani, just a co-alignment. I know what drew you here, and it is my role in your destiny to be the conduit of the loom, drawing your thread to weave into the tapestry. O seer of the woods. He bows again to you. Tell me, are those raiments for show, or are you truly a cleric of the Wolf Sanct?
I don't see why that's important right now. I don't see why any of this is important right now. You talking like you know me.
Lani. I don't know you, but the eye in the woods has heralded you. I did not know what form you would take, of course, or I would have informed my companions to receive you with open arms. But now that I have seen you, I can have no doubt. Your place in all this. You have a gift, Lani, far beyond any meager word speaker, trifler in the druidic arts. Yours is a gift somewhere far more special. But you're not fully aware of it yet. You can't use it all. Not until you finish your pilgrimage, Lani. And what would a priestess be at the end of a pilgrimage without her raiments on? Why? Underdressed for the party, I'd wager.
Insight check this shit. Does he actually believe this, or is he just telling me stuff that sounds good?
Ooh. Got dangerous to go alone for Lani.
I am so very alone right now, apparently.
I mean, Veryl's blowing smoke, but hey, maybe it's good smoke. Obviously his friends aren't nice, but from the way that he seems to be able to, like, just put up a finger and hush Gaff, he really does seem to be in charge of the satyrs. As for his particular intention with telling you these things, it's a mystery. This is a goat man with a silver tongue. But Lani, you do notice something. Veryl's ear twitches a little back and to the right, arranging his tuft slightly differently. Almost, you've seen him do it before. You're not quite sure what it means, but perhaps it signifies something about what he's telling you.
Which ear is that? The right ear?
The right ear, yes. His right ear twitches back, sometimes while he's talking. Gaff says, "Ah! A cruel fate. Why does she have to be..." Veryl holds up a hand to him and says, Gaff, you're so wounded. Tell me, why don't you let our dryad friend tend to you? I can take things from here. He like spits at the bars and then stomps off. I apologize for Gaff's impropriety, Lani. He's envious of you. Couldn't you tell? He's realized what you are, what you have, and what you're becoming.
I don't think any of you really do.
Can anyone truly know the fates? The loom is a mystery, wound in an enigma, pulling through the unknowable from the impossible. Fate, destiny. All I know is that I have a role to play in yours, Lani. And how could I deprive you when I know that I have heard heralded the sweet psalms of a seer in the woods? The other satyr steps forward and says, Well, maybe there's a mistake. This gnome is timid. The seer's... is the seer not emerged from her cocoon as a beautiful butterfly, gaining her wings to soar through the winds of history? Oh, Varro, you're always so full of shit. The satyr steps back, but doesn't say anything else. Sort of taps his hooves. You notice that Barrel's right ear twitches again.
Mystery of the right ear. Okay. You're not giving me a lot to trust right now.
Of course, Lani. How much trust can one truly place in words? You see that he reaches behind his left ear and pulls out a key. Tell me, would you like to go for a walk? I can show you something that will help you on the way. The key looks the right size to go into the lock on your cell door.
Lani just slowly stands up.
But first, he gesticulates to your priestly garb. Dress. And he turns around and gesticulates to a satyr. Come now. Give the seer some privacy. And he's like, prissy gnomes and their clothing. You notice that he is shirtless and kind of wearing pants. More like a belt. He's mostly just fuzzy on the lower half. Vero turns around and says, Now then, I shall go and play. Call me when you are ready. He goes around the corner and he plays a groovy tune on his flutes. You are alone. And you got your priestly garment with your holy symbol.
What, so I do have my holy symbol with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, do I... So I think we established that, I carry around some seed pods. Some... Did they happen to leave those, or are those still on my person somewhere?
Nope, they jacked those.
Okay, I guess I will get dressed then.
Are you ready for a chat? Cute as fuck. We got a little ear cowl Lani. Your doppelganger appears, and your regular ganger disappears. Oh shit! Did I not actually give this Lani vision?
Eyesight.
Oh fuck! You got 60 feet of dark vision, and you have sight, and all of these things are true. Bam. And you are actually at 1 HP. Your max HP for this token is set to be your level 3-1, but we can just ignore that for now because you're at 1 HP anyway.
I highly doubt I'm going to get any higher than that this whole session. Yay for no spell spots. Okay.
Yeah, you hear Vero playing in the distance, but as you finish getting dressed, you see a figure shifting in the shadows. Then you hear something, a slacking of a chain as metal grinds on the ground, and someone in the shadows, unseen but near, calls to you and says, in Kehoe, do you want this? You see on the ground, like right in front of your cell door somehow, the opal that was put inside, that you had inside of your alms box.
And who are you? I reply in keyhole.
Tell me about the one who wears the mask.
Well, there's a lot of people around here that seems to wear a mask.
Your companion.
I'm sure I don't know more than you.
A pity. The opal disappears. Roll me a perception. You're not entirely sure that really was the opal that appeared there. It almost seems to melt into the shadows. You hear the chain dragging away, but over it, you hear a whisper, too loud in your ears for the acoustics of the room. Be careful. The eye sees all. And then you hear some. It's almost like the pipes Varyl's playing grow louder, but you realize that it's not so much that Varyl has increased the volume as, since you heard that chain dragging, it's been muted. You suddenly feel as if though you've had that whole conversation, brief though it was, in a whisper with that unseen entity.
Lots of creepy stuff. Wonderful. If I cover my ears, does it seem like the flute gets quieter?
Yeah, it does sound like it's physically emanating from that the pipe, the pan flute, the whatever the fuck Varel carries around. Pipes, really. But yeah.
I guess she'll just hesitantly call out, "I'm ready," as she casts resistance on herself.
Ooh, what does resistance do?
Just the extra D4 to a saving throw of my choice.
Noise. We'll keep that in mind. Varel and the other satyr return, and he's like, lovely. And he slides the key in the lock. Dink, dink. And the door is opened. And he bows and gesticulates out. The satyr here is definitely keeping close. Prepared to give you a righteous fucking beatdown if you should make a move.
And I'm sure they could catch up to me.
Yeah, as you step out, you can see further into this cave. It looks almost like shallow draft canoes or some other small boat are stacked on top of each other in there. And Vero says, "Come with me." And what is your passive perception again?
No, I think it's 12. 12.
Okay. You sometimes, as you're walking, a patch of shadow seems a little too dark, but if your eyes ever dart to it, it was nothing. The satyr stays behind you, occasionally prodding if you ever fall too far behind. Varel in front of you, playing his pipes. The deserters, the humans here, gaze upon you with skepticism, and, well, you could roll insight to see what's behind their eyes, but they definitely all look at you as you're led to a rope bridge.
Man, I am just counting down the rolls till that natural one.
These humans regard you with uncertainty. Fear and something else. Is it admiration? Awe? A deep skepticism? You're not sure. Varel leads you across the swingy rope bridge over the waters. You see the tunnels to either side lead far out. A deep river beneath the earth. And you see elves and humans alike here, standing guard. You're brought into a winding series of caverns.
Lani is going to just try her best to remember the way that she's walking and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a time to not have the Wanderer feet.
Varel says, "Ah, yes, a brief detour." And then he reaches out to take you by the hand.
Can I not?
Yeah, you just be like, "Meh."
I'm holding my hands even closer to myself.
He says, very well then. Let my hands be free to guide you with song. He continues to hold his pipes in play and come down towards his blue light. The satyr behind you, far less passively, gives you a little shove in that direction. He then stands to block and stays in the intersection. Varel peels up some blue glowing moss and puts it into a pouch at his side and says, "It's a surprise ingredient that we'll use further on." And then, leaving you, he walks past you and then steps back into the hallway and says, "Come with me. We're halfway there."
Can I do a nature check or something on that moss?
Yeah, you can do a nature check on that blue glowing moss.
Surprise ingredient? Nope. It is very blue. Wow.
Some of the patches glow, others do not. The lighter patches glow and the others do not. You're not quite sure what this means, but they do seem to be somewhat bioluminescent. He took some of the bioluminescent stuff.
Wonderful. Don't drink anything else. Got it.
This satyr, stays tight behind you. You are led to a wooden plank about 15 feet long that seems like it's not really tightly secured here and is honestly buckles a little under you. It feels like it could be dragged or kicked out easily. You see a small one of those boats in the water south of you. You find here some weapon racks. Some of them look like regular weapons, but at least one of them appears to be made of black iron. You know that druidic rituals involving setting a wildfire around a natural ore vein of iron is the main way of producing black iron. You also know that it is a bane to the Fae.
Huh.
Why they have a black iron tipped spear here isn't exactly clear. But Varel leads you to the south. The satyr behind you pushes you along, and assuming you don't make any immediate attempt to escape, they take you over here, and you see that it looks like you're on the far side. It's hard for you to see, but based on that torch, it looks like you've come to the far side from where you were.
Were our weapons there, did it look like? Were there way too many quarterstaffs?
It did not look like the weapons that this guy had gathered were there, no. A masked stranger looks at you and looks at Veril and sort of nods and says, "The infirmary is open, like you said," and then steps back. Yeah, so Veril starts to lead you up some stairs. The stone transitions to a more dirty hue, and you find yourself in a different part of the dungeon. A well-lit part, in fact. Many torches around. You see Gaff here with the Dryad. She's pulling some poultices off of him. He seems to be fully healed. Turns around and thumbs his nose at you. Then
It's the same Dryad, right?
It is. She looks at you. Almost like she's looking at you from very far away, yet longingly, like a lighthouse calling to a ship at sea. Veril leads you by, and the Dryad says, "Come, let me tend to her wounds." Veril says, "I don't think that we have time for that just yet, but maybe on the way back." He continues to lead you through. You see a lot of beds here. There's like some like bandages discarded. It's generally laid out like an infirmary. Like this could be used to treat a lot of wounded people at once. The Dryad clearly knows something about healing people. The satyr behind you is definitely punting you on.
Where are we going that we need to be there right now?
The eye awaits. Can't you feel your destiny? And surprisingly, you kind of do. Every time you blink, a different vision cuts in front of you. A swarm of turtles taking a deck, familiar blood staining the wood, an island ensconced in storms, a dark pearl rich with the blood of greed, a giant frog, maybe? No, toad swallowing someone near, far, distant, in both space and time, yet so very near. It's almost like a quickening happening so fast and strong you couldn't notice it. You're seeing. You can almost feel yourself pushing it through your lips. If this goes on much longer, you'll begin to babble and to prophesize. You feel it coming out of you. Veril says, "Come, dreamer." And you led into a room that looks like a practice room. And hey, what do you know? It looks like your seized weapons, minus the Medusa whip, are here.
Why did I not use Medusa weapon? I could have. Okay. Noted. Wonderful.
Yeah, they take you on through this little like sparring chamber, and you enter into a room, which is sort of like, you know, a wider chamber, and you see a well-laid strategy table and some sort of a map. Stalking over it is a Loan, great and mighty in stature, and the length and breadth of his unfurled manes. Veril says, "Captain Brule." And Brule says, "Ah, Veril. What are you doing here? Ah, yes, the prisoner. Bring her here." Veril hesitates a moment before lightly putting a hand on your shoulder and sort of physically suggesting you approach.
I do, but I pull my hood down as much as possible.
I have spoken with my lieutenants. I am told you stayed behind so that the rest of your attack pack could escape. The satyr behind you says, "That isn't true. We just caught her." "Well, no. Tell me the truth." He looms over you, easily, thrice, perhaps 4 times your height.
Does it really matter? I'm here.
Ha! True. But I think you will find that sometimes the last thing that matters in life is how true the heart flame burned. He gesticulates and says, I have no time for philosophy. Continue, Varel. I am still considering. He walks over here, picks up one of his little sticky sticks, and, and Lee fucks up which thing he's grabbing. Oh, wait, Shift Z? No, hold on, Control Z? Hold on, did that removed the table, right? Yeah, okay. He draws back his little pusher and he, shuffles some green chits towards a map of some sort. Doesn't have a name on it, but it seems to be a crude representation of a city between the fork of a river, with a castle in, if you assume up is north, the southwestern corner, and a bridge over one of the rivers.
Huh. It's that gray part, right? That's the bridge, or?
Yeah. It would appear so.
Did, I forget, are we right above the south part of the river, or are we more towards, in between them?
You guys are between two rivers at this point.
In the middle, or towards the south?
I think towards the south a little bit more, but somewhat in the middle.
Okay. And how many pieces is he moving? A lot?
So, yeah, it seems like he has some extras off to the side. It's not clear if that's just because they have lots of pieces that they're not using, or if this is representing some element of the strategy where reinforcements are brought in. But you do notice that some of the green markers are already inside of the city that seems to be defended by blue markers.
Okay.
Particularly along the riverfront.
And where's that city again? On the...
It's not labeled.
Okay.
The Satyr and Varel guide you, with their respective styles, towards this hole between two horn banners. And you feel a quickening as you begin to... Well, actually, roll me a charisma save.
Has it been a minute yet?
No. You can use, we'll say this is the very end of the minute. It was a long minute, but, a lot happened.
Also,
a lot happened in that 60 seconds, but,
Is this, magic?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness I remembered that feature. Oh, guess I don't need guidance.
Yeah, you can hold your tongue if you'd like. From prophecy. But, yeah, you see, the waters before you. Vines, green brambles, patches all around, and then the surface of the water breaks and you see it. The eye.
Gosh, that thing's huge. I don't like this.
You push forward a bit, and yeah, you see also there's a ledge up here, and overlooking there seems to be a woman in a what is commonly considered to be a wizard's hat and robes, up there. She seems to be scribbling something, and she picks up a censer and then walks down a winding passage and says, Varel, have you brought the seers? Oh, there you are. And she's going to walk closer, and Lonnie, for reference, has your amulet burst?
Yes.
Oh, right, because you got laid out in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to step forward and produce some of the some remnants of amulets that look like yours but might not have been yours, and says, "Tell me, are these familiar to you?" Henriazza, we don't have time to burden the seer with such questions. He takes the censer she's carrying and begins to stuff the moss in and says, "Light it." She's like, "Ah, fine." She snaps her fingers, and the censer lights. She steps back and says, "I want to take good notes on this, so position her somewhere I can see." She comes back up to her desk, and the satyr pushes you out to the edge of the water, and Varel gesticulates and says, "Take it all in. and whatever he's in the moss and whatever he's burning in that censer, let off a blue flame. Its tendrils curl up towards your nostrils as you make me a con save.
And at this point, I can't use resistance, right?
Hmm.
Wonderful.
All right. It is a heady brew, and it strikes you hard in your brain cage. As you take it in, though, you see that the waters are inviting you. You see the eye differently now. In high definition, all of the threads of fate, weaving and unweaving, a beacon breaking across the woods, but darting as your mind travels. You see the place you fought. You see the wreckage left by the Gurap worm. You see the goblins and their hobgoblin crippled smith in their camp. You see dwarves mining, keeping a greedy secret. You see something else, something near, something in the shadows with a half-moon mask and a black iron Kusigara. How strange. And as this happens, that warm diffusion that broke across your brain earlier begins to come back, and everything grows fuzzier, and you can't see anything. And then Varel asks, "Tell me, Lani, what do you want to see?"
I want to see where the River Queen is.
Henriaza groans and says, "Do it." And Varel says, "As you wish." And he plays some notes that strike you. Your bent and blurred vision becomes clear. You can see a body of water, and you can see a woman who has been changed within. You see a nymph. She is risen above the waves. She commands walls of water and crashing tidal forces. She breaks apart boats with people raining arrows at her on them. Beneath her dances a tentacled beast, one you have seen the wreckage of before, snapping ships. And now, at her behest, it gobbles up survivors, crushing them before consuming them. You see her. She's to the north. She's somewhere north of here, yes, straight north, but now she falls into the waves. The fight is over, she has won. People cry, the lamentations drowned out by the river as your vision goes underwater and you see her returning swiftly somewhere. And then it breaks. The moment Varel plays his last note, your whole vision blurs. And Henriaza says, "Now! You feel someone shove you. Do you resist?"
Does it seem like it's towards the water?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna resist.
Give me a strength save.
Oh, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah. You, Lani tumbles face first into the waters, and with a cold splash, you feel that numbness in your brain crystallize. But something else happens. You've gained a new feature. Covenant. You feel as if though your intelligence is a little bit lower right now. But you feel a rising in your heart as well.
Oh man. Goodbye, minor illusion. DC. Is this like a permanent or a temporary thing?
So long as you have the feature covenant, it will remain true.
Okay, wonderful.
You feel as if though you have this like semi-permanent brain freeze in your blood-brain barrier, but also an extra virulence to the flow of your heart and your spirit.
Does it feel like I'm drowning, or like?
No, it feels like you could almost breathe this water. That being said, you are cold. Do you try and like get out?
Yeah, I
When you
don't.
emerge, you are no longer blinded, but you are also no longer seen. But you feel a connection, a sneaking coil towards the back of your brain. Much as the stalk latches onto the back of the eye, you feel as if though a stalk has latched onto the back of your brain. Like you're another eye to a different mind. And you feel as if you can tense that connection to draw forth the vision of the woods. As a ritual, length dependent upon distance from the eye, Lani may connect to the eye in the eye of the woods and see through it. And so you're a little bit soggy, and Henry Oza says, "Fascinating, fascinating. I knew I was being held back. To think.
What did you all do?
We have helped you, Lani. Can't you feel it? You have achieved the beginning of your destiny." And the woman upstairs is like scribbling furiously on a scroll, and she says, "Yes, yes, yes, but we need to see the results." Ugh. This is... Get her up here. One of the satyr tries to like pull you out of the waters.
This time I don't resist.
Alright. Beryl steps aside, and you are pushed up this little winding corridor, where the woman turns around and says, "Ah, yes, so you're the gnome, right? Yes. She comes up and pokes and prods at you with a wand, walks around behind you, flips her wand, and all of a sudden you are dry. Alright, so, tell me, how do you feel?
Unhappy that I just got pushed into a freezing pool of water.
You only perceived that water to be freezing. It's actually room temperature. Vero coughs and says, "That might not be the most assuring argument." Right. Well, sorry I'm not in the habit of explaining myself to imbeciles. Present company included. She casts a gaze over towards Vero, who brushes it off. The other satyr is not happy and storms out. Vero steps forward and says, "Yes, but I think Lani here is actually rather quite perceptive." Yeah. We'll see about that. So, Gnome, based on your markings, you should be... She pulls out a book and flips through it a little.
Can I see the title?
Yeah, so it doesn't have a title, but it does have the symbol of your tribe on it. You should be... Well, to be fair, the author does say he was never sure what this meant. Why are your people so tight-lipped? It makes research tedious. I've had to cross-examine this with the diaries of... Oh, well. Not like you can appreciate research. Anyway, yes. Yes. You have a certain connection to the woad, don't you? Tell me. Can you perform druidic magics? She raises the brim of her wizard's cap, and you see dull hazel eyes and a shock of white hair. You also see a scar across the bridge of her nose.
Why would I share my tribe's magic so easily?
Oh, you're going to make me do this the hard way, aren't you? Farrell, I hate it when they make me do things the hard way. You can think of something, can't you? Come now, Henry Osla, do you think that will be... I'll tell Captain Brule what you've been up to if you don't help me.
Can I try to sneakily cast resistance again? I don't like the sound of this.
What does it have a verbal and does it have a somatic component?
Oh, yeah, it does. I said sneakily while they're conversing with each other.
Try me a deception.
Oh gosh. Oh, wonderful.
Farrell, she's casting a spell. She's casting a spell. Fascinating. Oh,
such druidic magics.
Also, Farrell, get that other goat man in here and, hit her with the peach. He comes over, he takes you by the shoulder, and he says, Lonnie, Henry Ozza here is just trying to... I don't give a fuck about the silver tongue bullshit. Get him in here. The satyr comes in, and she hands him a weird-looking peach. It seems strangely porous, almost like it lacks a core. However, it still has a skin around it. You can't see into the innards of the peach. And she's like, all right. If she tries to cast a spell, and actually, when they notice, would you stop or would you finish the spell?
I'd like to just try to finish it.
Yeah, you managed to finish the spell. And he says, if she opens her mouth again and starts making the woobly-woobly sounds, you wouldn't do. And Veril, keep control of her hands. Veril's, leans in a little. He's not touching you, but you do get the sense that he's close to your right wrist. Henry
It's going to be hard to cast druidic magics with this.
Yes, I'm interviewing you, you forest-minded simpleton. I want you to tell me, with your normal words in this language we're speaking, die sprach, whether or not your powers can include direct manipulation of the woad, commonly referred to as druidcraft or druidic magics. Or do you rely on the weave? In fact, when did you develop your powers? Have you had them since birth? Or perhaps puberty? No. Unlikely. What about... were you born beneath a certain set of stars? She has, a writing desk out now, and she has one knee up on her chair, and she's just, going to town, writing things and then crossing them out.
You seem to have a book about us, don't you know?
Yes, but it's a bad book. Because it was written by some stupid man. And, to be quite frank, I think he was a little more interested in the animals than the people. Oh well. But you, she points her quill, are a prime research specimen. Tell me everything. Come on.
I thought I was a forest-minded simpleton. Would I really be much better for your research?
Of course, all you know is your woods, but that's all you need to know. So just share them with me. Who knows? I might even raise my opinion of you ever so slightly. She makes a really small gesticulation to be clear about that. But I mean, relative size, she gesticulates down at you. You notice that she is not tall for a human woman, but, towers over you. All sizes are relative. She's also oh, and by the way, that question earlier about this, she shows you a broken fragment of the Jade and Teichstein amulet. Yeah, that was a trick question. I know who made these. Oh, and there's another dangerous to go alone in play here. I believe in you, Lani. Yes, from Shin.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, you notice Vero leans in and says, "Don't worry, Lani. Everything's going to be fine. At the end of this, I'm going to help you leave here." And you see his right ear twitch.
Okay, yeah, I don't believe those right ear twitches. Does it seem like the satyr... Well, actually, are satyrs usually, like, druids or not necessarily?
So, not all satyrs are druids. You knew that their shamans can manipulate the woad in the same way that a druid can, and they do many of the same things a druid can, like cast Entangle, for example.
Mhm.
But they don't tend to obtain wild shapes. They can, but they don't tend to.
And neither of them seem to have anything to indicate, like, they're anything like the shaman.
No, although Vero did leave that trailing smoke from his fingertips earlier when he made the symbols, and his pipes definitely have a certain enchanting quality to them. Of course, that could be the pipes, and he could just know a cantrip and be manipulating the weave. But without, say, detect magic, it would be hard to tell.
Well, what do you want to know about my magics?
Well, how to put this so that someone who doesn't know the difference would understand. When you make things happen, do you feel as if though you're letting water wash through little rivers, or are you commanding a storm on a great ocean?
Yes, what do my powers feel like, Lee?
That's a good question. The ocean analogy sounds a lot more like druid spells to you. But what you do, it almost feels more like you're drawing into the unreal of the dream space. Almost like you're lucid dreaming and making some element of the dream real in the world.
It feels like I'm dreaming, and...
Oh, fascinating. She's scribbling real fast. She's also crossing out some things. Yes, this confirms several theories and disconfirms several theories.
Yes, hopefully more of the disconfirm.
Ooh, do I sense a degree of secrecy? Are you trying to keep secrets? I love it when they try to keep secrets. Tell me, what do you least
Oh no, I
want
didn't
to share?
say.
Okay, you don't say that? Right.
No, I'm just hoping that we'll fight.
And by the way, what did you think of Irgazura Hone? You know, the creepy chick with the bones and stuff. She taps on her writing desk right next to the broken shards of the amulet. I know she made these. She did a bad job. She always has the same oversight.
I thought you wanted to know more about druids.
Yes, but the only thing I love more than getting new things is proving all the things I already know. Like the fact that you had to have been through Bonewater.
I don't see how that's impressive. You all ambushed us there after all.
We did. Fascinating. She scribbles a small side note. Veroline,
So it seems like you're not the first to get that information.
Henriazza says, You're right. I do hate being last. Beryl, do you know about this? Beryl shrugs and says, I'm not appraised of every horn operation the cell undergoes. Of course you're not. Not until you get your tribe in league with us anyway, right? Beryl's face has been holding this silver-tongued airiness, happiness like kind of like slickness about it this whole time. Yeah, that drops when she says that, and he just stares daggers at her. She doesn't seem to give a shit. She resumes writing on her desk, and she's like, you know, you do make a good point here, little gnome friend. I'm just so good at multitasking that sometimes I forget the task that I was on, and I start a whole new set of tasks. But I'm very good at them, so don't worry. We'll get back around. We'll get back around. So, yes. Your tribe has a strong connection with animals. Often you'll take their shape. Tell me, can you do that?
I can't right now.
Have you perhaps reached your physical limits? Do you acquire rest?
Well, it's no surprise it's hard to do anything right now.
Yes, well, obviously, she finishes her piece of parchment, slaps on the table behind her, and starts a new one. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I can't have you interfering with your spells now, can I? I'm sure if this situation was reversed, you wouldn't let me do anything like, say, this. And she waves her wand, and you are no longer dry again. You are just as wet as you were when you came up here. She whispers something in an arcane tongue as she does so.
Oh, right. I can't cast spells right now, anyways.
You could try.
Nah, it's fine. I guess I'll be a soaking wet mess.
She's like, all right, now maybe you'll be less evasive. Come on. I promise I'll make you really warm if you do. Just tell me this one important thing, all right? She stops a moment and she says, But if that's true, and that's true, then that has to be true as well. So that means... Okay. Kobatov. She stops writing and looks at you, dead in the eye, as if though searching for some sign of recognition. Do you try and play dumb?
I'm assuming if people know about the suppression force, they know about Koba. Yeah, I won't play dumb. I already told them about that.
She leans in and she's like, is he really as hot as people say he is? Beryl sighs and the satyr like looks at her aghast and he's like, do you know what you're talking about? Don't let your loins rule your sense, woman. Shh. Don't listen to the satyrs. I'm looking for scientific data.
Well, I can't imagine many people get to see him. I sure haven't.
Give me a deception on that one. Now we'll see. She might not see through that. If she rolls worse than you do.
Oh no, given how they usually roll.
Hold on, where is she? Yeah, okay, she's here. Yeah, no. She's like, oh. Well, whatever. Point is, hold on, that next tattoo question, she hasn't seen him. The suppression force. You know who Koba is. You probably know what the suppression force is. Do you know where they're planning to go next?
Why would I be privy to their plans? I mean, a lot of people have heard of them. It's not like everyone knows what they're about to do next.
That's true. But if you've been to Bonewater and Lady, she puts an unflattering emphasis on Lady, Hone has given you these. She taps near the broken amulet pieces again. That must mean that you... Yes, it all makes sense. She taps. She turns around the piece of paper. It has a lot of notes on it, like a frowny face next to Kobatoth, and a you see on the bottom line it says the name Garyon Karkin. You are here with Garyon. That must mean you're part of his father's attempt to claim victory over this horn cell. The Viceroy can claim to have taken care of the River Queen. He can improve his standing, and the taxes he can draw from his holdings. It only makes sense. But why would a woman of your tribe work with the Viceroy? A cadet branch of the Tessin clan, no less. There's something I don't like about this. And you had such a motley crew of people. Varel sighs and says, "Listen, Henrietta, maybe you should come up with a list of questions before you continue this." Oh, I have lists of questions. I'm just disregarding them and re-regarding them and... Oh. Yes, well, I think I would like to take Lani out now, so... Fine. She waves and you are no longer soaking. And the satyr says, "Huh, so much for making her squeal. I thought we were going to interrogate her." Henriazza waves her hand and says, No, I said interview. God, you satyrs. It's like you can't think of anything but... Just you watch your tongue. He looms a little close to Henriazza, who, still one leg folded up on the chair, doesn't really do much more than rotate the top of her body. She leans in and says, "Are you sure you want to do that?" He's like, "Do what?" He leans his horns a little bit closer to her, and she leans the brim of her wizard's cap a little bit lower. Under it, you can see only a smirk. And she says, "I don't know. Maybe you're afraid I'm going to say something you don't want Lani to know. Like maybe the fact that the chrome hooves have been..." Vale says, "Enough!" He lets out a terrible note from his flute, and Henriazza winces for a second. The satyr comes in close, but she puts her wand right to his throat, and he freezes, eyes wide, before backing off. Vale says, "We're leaving." He takes you by the hand, forcefully, and drags you, unlike earlier where he had not done so, out. Henriazza giggles as you leave and says, "Don't worry, Lani. I have a lot more questions, and you're not going anywhere."
Did it seem like my notes were in her study anywhere before I leave?
You can give me a retroactive search. Perception, sorry. Or investigation, if you prefer. Oh, just kidding. Yeah, no.
Well, someone's intelligence got knocked down recently, so intelligence isn't so hot for me anymore.
Oh no. Yeah, so there's like a little bit, like there's like a small box of notes that seems like it might have something that you took. It's on the shelf that was behind you. And it seems slightly disorganized, almost like Henriazza's like mixing a few different things down there. But yeah, Veril takes you, and when he gets around, he says, "Lani, your destiny awaits. Don't forget that. With my songs and your eyes, you can divine the future." He plays a note, and your vision goes black. You don't know how much time has passed, but you awaken in your cell. The door is closed again. And Lani, you're awake, and you look around and you feel something in your mouth. It almost tastes like a peach, but like the skin of a peach. Like the thing you should have peeled off by now.
I'm immediately spitting that out.
Alright, so you go to spit it out, and it doesn't leave. It expands to be too large to leave your mouth the moment you try.
Can I try to take it out with my hands? Like, force it out that way?
Yes. Roll me a nature.
Oh gosh. We'll go back to this and go.
You know the secret of the Puri peach.
The Puri peach?
The Puri peach. You know that the secret is that you have to squeeze two of the stems leading to the core, and then it will shrink and can be removed safely.
Well, I'm sure gonna try that. What is it, do I know what it's usually used for?
So, if prepared properly, there's two things. One, it makes a great punch. So Puri Peach Punch is it is a mainstay of the raving parties of some satyr tribes. Additionally, you know that it can be like cooked and prepared to add a lot of flavor to meat. And it can also just be like prepared and eaten, although because of its hollow core and stems, there's not as much peach in it as normal, and it's not like you don't get as much, and there's not like an easy way to like eat it in that form. So it's not super common, although it is considered a delicacy. Puri peaches only grow in truly wild lands. They cannot be cultivated by those who are not in touch with nature. Nor can they be put on traditional farms or orchards, like in a peach tree orchard. So generally speaking, only people like satyrs have access to them reliably. You also know that due to its strange properties, you can pretty effectively gag someone with one.
Can I remove it now?
Yeah. With a nat 20, you know the secret of the Puri Peach, and you can just slide it out, and it crumbles a little, and then it's like peach sized in your hand.
I think I'm gonna keep this thing.
Puri Peach obtained.
Yay! I'm building up my inventory again.
Indeed. And you again see a torch and hear some footfalls from the north.
It is black for me again, by the way.
What about now?
Light! Yes.
Sorry, it's just a massive fucking map. Are you again going to pretend to be asleep, or?
Yeah.
Alright, give me a deception.
Do the footprint... Do they sound like hooves, or do they sound like...
No, they sound like boots. Do you want to be... With that high of a deception, you could be peeking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it's one of the humans walking around with a torch. He looks over and doesn't say anything, but looks at you, appraisingly almost, and then you can roll an insight to see what more, but then he turns around and leaves. Yeah, you're not quite sure what was in that look, other than perhaps trying to take the measure of you. And with that, I think we're going to break for an early 10-minute break. Yay!
Man, my one useful spell in combat is now significantly less effective.
I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone who has been here with us going through this.
Oh, I think we forgot to mention this. This is going to be the last High Road episode on Monday for a little bit. We're going to be moving to Friday because of some scheduling issues.
Yes, so this show will be resuming at the regular time on Fridays for a while, and then as COVID reopenings continue, we will probably toggle back to Monday at some point. I'll be running a Frystat Wednesday. So yeah, I'll be alright back. Ooh. Dangerous to go alone to Lani. Well, I'm back, folks. Oh, and so is Casey. Alright, so.
What is going on with this? Alrighty.
So, Lani is in her cell, and she does not presently know what, if anything, transpires beyond that one dude marching past.
I don't suppose I feel any more well rested or healed up at all.
You do not at this time. But you do hear what sounded like more people on the way. You feel you hear like stone grating to the east, coming from up these man-made stairs, and then several sets of footfalls descending.
Back to sleep for me. I'm gonna try be able to keep a peek out, especially with my hood.
Give me that deception.
Okay, that was good this time.
Indeed. Lamentably, it's not quite enough to fool who emerges from the shadows with torches flanking him. It is Yutiki Hanaka.
This isn't good.
He says, "Who's changed the prisoner?" Everything was supposed to be confiscated. They walk up, and he says, "Go get the guard who's supposed to be watching her." They look at you, and Utiki steps forward and says, "I know you're not really asleep. Don't make me do this the hard way."
I get up. Does he have anything on him? Like any weapons?
Yeah, so he's still got his sword. Not yours, but,
What sword? When did I ever have a sword?
I mean, yeah, but so Yeshgar will come up and he says, "You, what's your name?" "Conrad Benaza, sir." "Conrad, when did she change outfits?" Well, after the satyrs came, sir." "The satyrs? What have they been doing with the prisoner?" "I told them you don't get to catch what you keep here. There's no order amongst those." He bites his tongue and says, "Well, never mind." He steps up towards Lani and says, "Listen, you claimed you were here to negotiate peace, right?"
She nods. I wouldn't call it a claim, though. It was the truth.
"Well, if you're here to negotiate peace, what power do you have to assure me that if I was to agree to anything that you proposed, the Tessin clan would follow through? Do you know how this province was conquered?"
She nods again.
He continues regardless of this information. "My liege, Lord of the Safu clan, was too honorable, and the Tessin were willing to debase themselves with filthy tricks, all for the end of upending social order. Now, they debase my people's culture as I am forced to live in exile because I refuse to live on my knees. The day of change is coming. When it does, there will be no room for Tessin clan collaborators, just as they have left no room for those of us who loyally served my master. Even though he has departed, and I have failed through allowing him and his heirs to die, I will have my revenge before I depart this world. Now, you have taken valuable men from me, through healing those who sought to kill them. If you truly intend to be a peacemaker, you need to tell me why you think you have leverage on the Tessin clan, a dishonorable group who would never keep their word unless forced to, who attacked us unprovoked, conquered these lands, lusting for gold to power. What could bring them to heel? What do you have to offer?"
The scout that came in, our character, the scout that came in that kind of gave us away, said that Garyon was outside, right?
Correct.
Well, Kiki wasn't lying when he said that he had favors owed to him, and I think you know now that it was Garyon.
Yes, Garyon Karkin. He has a reputation as the most honorable, but it has been prophesied that a male heir would ruin that family. Whether it is the one who sits the throne or the son of a cadet branch. Who's to say? Either way, I'm not sure I can trust him, but He's a better emissary than I could have hoped for. Tell me, how does Garyon intend to negotiate peace with us? What's he willing to offer? I will accept nothing less than full pardons for all of my men, and a return of my lands, and the lands of all those who have remained loyal.
I'm sorry, we weren't told anything. We were just told to try to negotiate, and we couldn't do that without knowing what you all wanted first.
Ha! Well, fine. This is a great beginning to negotiations. We've killed each other. Well, spilled each other's blood at least. Alright. So make this clear. He leans in over the bars. I want my lands back. And I want assurances that there will be no debasing of my culture. The proper order of things will be maintained. There will be no parceling out of lands to minor ritters, such that infinite small holdsteads divide the land, making it too weak to stand against an unjust ruler or outside invader. No, there will be no such squabbling. Furthermore, we will not be subject to any new taxes, nor should the tax rate be changed without due cause. It's 2 years' notice. Beyond that, we require complete pardon for everyone operating as part of the River Queen's Horn Cell. Beyond that, we also require assurances that we will not be called upon to make war against or suppress any other Horn Cell. Additionally, the old ways of the woods must be overseen. And one last thing. The traditions of Gazufu Village must be maintained and honored. I hope you're getting all this down in your brain.
Are you sure I'm getting it down and outside the game? Is Gazufu Village the one that we visited?
It's the one that you chose not to visit because you were like, we don't want to get spotted in the village.
Oh. Well. I can't speak for Garyon, but if this is granted, then what will you do?
We will pledge to end our war and strike no more against the Lord of the land. Furthermore, we will acknowledge him as the lineal spirits holder, though it will harm me to do so. We will pledge ourselves to him as our overlord and answer the call of the Landgraf in the event that it is necessary to fulfill our duty. We will integrate into the realm once more and know peace. So long as all of the Hanaka lands are returned to me, undiluted.
Then what about the satyrs? It just seems like they don't. What's to stop them from causing any more harm?
Varel. He looks back and forth between his men and says, "Just some vagabonds. They don't speak for the Chromoves." But per our agreement, we wouldn't lift our swords against any member of Horn. If they do cause trouble, that'll be the Tessin clan's problem, not ours.
So they're not part of Horn, and their actions can't be held against you.
Yes. They're not members of Horn. Varel is just a guest, an unwelcome one. Of course, if that were to change, it would still fall under the letter of our agreement.
And is this also the wish of the River Queen?
The River Queen doesn't trouble herself with every wayward posse with a cadet branch's son in tow, claiming they're here to negotiate. When you come back to me with assurances and terms, then I'll bring it before the commander.
I just want to make sure that that this will make everyone happy, and if the River Queen doesn't want, if this isn't good enough for the River Queen, then is there really a point?
You had to believe that this wasn't a pointless venture, or you wouldn't have come here and still been holding on to this. And any chance that I would have let you have an audience with my commander vanished when your companions attacked me and killed my second-in-command. Don't think I have easily forgotten. We have buried our dead, but we will avenge them.
I'm sorry about that.
Your words don't bring her back to life.
I'm not asking for an audience with her. I just wanted to make sure that she is aware of these terms.
The River Queen will be made aware, but she already knows what I fight for and what my men fight for. This won't come as a surprise to her. And if it brings peace to the woods, he hesitates. Well, let's just say she won't accept anything less than this. So you'd better come back with the whole deal in tow.
So you'll grant us safe passage back so that we can bring this up with the others?
If the River Queen approves of it. I can't let a hostage go without my commander's direct order.
Well, I can guarantee that this will be made known to Garyon and the rest of my friends, but I can't guarantee anything after that.
Do you have some means of communicating with your companions, even when you're not nearby?
No, I just meant if you did release me.
If I did release you, where would you go?
I'd have to go look for them. It's possible that they are trying to get out of your woods.
So you think they might have left you behind? Typical.
Lani is quiet after that, kind of thinking about if they actually might have left her behind.
You see a darker splotch in the shadows behind some of the humans. They don't seem to notice it. But then Utiki leans in and asks, what about the elf who wears the mask?
Tara's an elf, and we have someone who wears a mask, but...
Has she never shown you his ears?
No.
How well do you know that one? The murderer.
How many times has she actually seen Tyr kill?
That's a good question. Because he doesn't, go out of his way to do it in front of you. You didn't see the alleyway kill.
No, I didn't.
You yeah, you might have seen him kill the wolf.
Wolf's not the same. I mean, Wolf is gonna set her off, but it's not good. It's not quite the same. I feel like that might be the only kill she's actually paid attention to.
Did you see him kill what's her face? Yeah, I think you were up and standing while that happened.
Wait, what's her face?
The second in command to Yutiki.
Oh yeah. I think that might be the only kill I've actually seen. Actually.
Well then, that's what you have to go off of.
I don't think that he's a murderer. We were all fighting in self-defense.
Self-defense? I told you to throw down your arms, and you chose to attack. You had come here under false pretense and been proven to lie. I was within my rights to demand that you disarm yourselves until the truth could be determined. You chose to escalate to violence.
It's just we've met some others who wear the same masks, and when we've tried to negotiate, they've raised up arms, and we barely make it out.
Give me persuasion. And remember, you're well, your charisma modifier is one higher, but you got a nat one, and he says, barely is better than not making it out. Something that my second in command now knows too well. You know what? I should listen to her. It's not too late now that she's dead. She was right. I can't trust people. I will make the River Queen aware of your suggestions for negotiation, but her decision is ultimately hers. Men, enough. And Conrad, you give Conrad your torch. Conrad, watch her cell and make sure she doesn't leave. All the duties in her secondary. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Good. Yutiki departs, and you hear a grinding of stone after a halt in the footfalls before they finish ascending.
Can I look around for that shadow now?
Yeah, roll me a perception.
Man, I was waiting for that nat one. Of course it's there.
Oh. That's also a nat one, actually. Let's see what her bonus is.
Secrets.
Okay, yeah. In the shadows, just for a moment, you see what could be a woman in a half-moon mask with something terrible coiled under her flesh, slithering there. She looks something like this, with a snowflake brooch tying together her cloak. You see her only for an instant, before she melts into the shadows, but you get the feeling she was staring right at you. You hear, as she departs, the dragging of a chain. A familiar dragging of a chain. If Conrad hears it, he doesn't turn around to look.
I'm gonna turn my back to Conrad and see if I can change out of these vestments.
Conrad, awkwardly clears his throat and says, I'm gonna definitely look the other way. And then you hear someone else coming up and says, fine, Conrad, get out of here. I don't trust her. She's one of the people who killed my battle sister. I'll watch. And he's like, Well, I could stand over here. No. She takes the torch. Go. He's like, oh, okay. Conrad leaves. This woman stands here, naginata in one hand, posts into the ground, torch in the other. You feel her eyes on your back, even though you are not turned around. Several PG-13 censor bars later, you are out of your very cute vestments and into your regular outfit.
So, when people pass, is there usually like a general like ceremony to send them off or anything?
Yeah, you don't suspect Horn has the same kind of graveyard that you saw by the shrine, but they would send the souls, at least through the gateway, the portal to heaven, to the heavens, to the far sky, and entreat the angels to come and to take them away. So as to prevent, hauntings and such.
Lonnie's gonna awkwardly ask, was she sent off properly?
The Naginata warrior kind of like glares down at you and says, "That's none of your business."
I just wanted to make sure that she could pass peacefully.
Oh, you made sure of that well enough. If you hadn't been interfering, she would have won.
I mean, I don't do against that out of character, but that's fine.
But are you gonna say that to her though? Are you gonna say that to her?
Hell no. Because I'm pretty sure the only one I healed was Cabancho, and he didn't do that much damage to her, I think. Although I guess he was the reason she gets flanked. Okay.
She walks a little closer and says, "You're feeling talkative. Tell me, what do you know about the one who carries the green gold blade?"
He's a very good person, and he didn't want it to escalate to violence, I think.
She looks at you. You're not quite sure what's in her eyes. 10 seconds into explaining why Cabancho's a cool dude and chill, and she gives you this look. You could roll me an insight if you'd like to.
Yay!
You think that she is kind of hoping what you're saying about him is true. It seems like she's really interested in Cabancho. Or, as she puts it, the one who wields the green gold blade. She wants to know more, and she begins to ask more questions, and says, "Does she have any doubts about who you're working for? You said he was a mercenary, right? Has anything happened to him recently that would make him see the world in a different moral light? What path did you take to get here? Has he ever fought a Lowen? Lowen are the Lion people."
Just to make sure, people coming back from the dead is definitely not a usual or smile occurrence.
No, it is commonly believed that if you resurrect someone, the angels will come after them at some point to settle the score. It is not. It also, denies the Suronetto a soul and a spirit, because the soul gets sent off, but the spirit is retained in the soul network. So you're not doing your posthumous duty of joining the soul network if your spirit and soul are still in, your body. And if you wind up with only one of those in your body, you have either an undead or something most people don't want to live to become.
Okay. Well, how long have I been traveling with Cabancho?
At least weeks to months, because you've done a caravan run together, and You were established as a member of the Shintaraj in the back. So I would say that you've known him for at least a season, if not a year.
I haven't seen him fight a Lowen, but that was a lot of questions. He did get hurt really badly by people wearing the masks, your group's mask, so I can see why he's a little less trusting, but he does want...
Her eyes have gone wide when you tell her this, and she nods. He was struck down by a rebel but lived.
Barely.
I see. And now he's come here, of all places. He wields the blade. Is it true what they said? Was there a green gold flame?
Did I even see that? I don't think I did.
Well, that's what he did to go start the fight. So yeah, no, if you were healing him, you had to have seen him. You had to have seen him.
Okay, I thought you meant like when he did the AoE smite everyone with flames thing.
Well, the sword was burning green gold after he came back from the altar.
Okay. Well, a lot of people, I mean, if they survived, a lot of people would have seen it.
If he survived...
Well, I mean, anyone who was at the fight and lived to tell about it would tell you the same thing.
Yes, but I wanted to be sure.
Sure of what exactly?
You wear the garb of the Dreaming Wolf, Sancta. But have you ever heard the tale of the warrior saint Akechi?
Was that town or village the first time I've heard Akechi?
It's possible that you've heard him recounted in like a list of like 99 warrior saints, but unless you took a particular interest in warrior saints, you wouldn't know him because he's not a major one.
Probably not.
He's not like... No one puts Akechi in their top 3 warrior saints for a pretty big reason that Lani may or may not know if you roll me a history with disadvantage. No, you're not quite sure why it would be unpopular to make Akechi your favorite warrior sanct.
Well, I've heard of him a couple of times, but not really anything much in detail.
Well, she turns and says, I think you'll get to see a lot more soon.
What do you mean by that?
The loom spins. Fate and destiny are suffered. I think your friend is going to win us this war. She walks away and says, I'll be right back. There's something I need to be sure of. And she leaves the torch in the wall. And, yeah, she takes off somewhere. You have a moment. You're alone, wearing your duds, and there's, just you in the door.
I really don't think I can open that. Okay, no more creepy shadows, I presume?
Roll me a perception. As you scan the darkness. You
I'm
strain your
sorry.
eyes, but you can't see anything in the shadows. Of course, you have 60 feet of dark vision. Don't penetrate beyond the torchlight, although dim torchlight in the distance does show some of the cave, but there's a lot more of it and some dead zones to either side. It could be lurking. They could be lurking. She could be lurking somewhere around here.
And is there any way for me, like, figure out, like, how deep into, I think, the mountain or whatever that I'm in? Like, how deep into this place I'm in?
You could look for her or try and find that person if you were to perhaps tap the stem that touches your mind to perform a ritual.
You know what? This is probably the best time to test this theory. Okay, sure. Let's do this ritual.
Your mind freezes a little, and the crystalline structures in your brain tell you that you must prepare the ritual in one of two ways. You must either go forth with the heart to see with the eye, or go forth with the eye to see with the heart. Here, heart representing charisma, and eye representing wisdom. So you either make a charisma check up front, followed by a whiz check, or a whiz check up front, followed by a charisma check. You will get different information depending on which one goes first, and if you fail the first one, even passing the second one might not be that useful. Conversely, fucking up the second one, you'll still probably get something, although you've never done this before, so you don't know. The time to cast the ritual is only 10 minutes due to your extreme proximity to the eye.
Okay. I'm gonna try to cast guidance on me first to see if I can help myself with this.
Alright, and you have the slots for that?
It's a cantrip.
Oh, well, then yeah, you can fucking pop it all you want.
Okay, and I'm definitely gonna leave with charisma first because that would be stupid not to. There's that, and then it's a check, right?
Yeah. A check, not a save. Oh, wait, hold on. Shit, I should say. It does gain your proficiency modifier, though, if you have your holy symbol.
Oh, well, I do, so I guess it's an extra +2.
Alright, you got a 21. And so you go forth with the heart. And what are you going forth towards? Are you seeking the shadow that lurks? Are you seeking how deep into the mountain you are?
I'm gonna find that person.
Alright, roll me a wisdom. Your heart goes forth. You feel it fly to the east.
Oh gosh, where is wisdom? And then does this also gain my proficiency?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do this as a save then, because I have proficiency in that.
Alright, wow, okay, holy shit, you did a real good job. You feel your ability to see through your own eyes fade, and an eye emerge. Yeah, so we are going to move the eye here, and we are going to go ahead and give it, with those rolls, some pretty good sight. Controlled by all players. It zooms forth to the east, over a ledge there. You see Conrad to the north. It flies down an alcove, past some sake and other barrels. You see, in the darkness, the Naginata warrior conversing with a half-masked woman. You see a suggestion of a pointed ear. She must be a Vetra Alfar, a winter elf. And she seems poisoned, sapped, sickened by something. Something that moves beneath her skin. You see them. You see that they are conversing, but you can't tell what. You see that the Vetral Far's room seems to be some dank poisoner's den. Very Spartan and simple. Roll me a religion check.
Can I use guidance?
Yes, you can use guidance.
Oh, were you about to give me advantage on that, or?
Yes, I was. So also roll the advantage, and then you can give the guidance.
I'll keep it at that then.
Okay. Yeah, this looks like the kind of place you would expect an acolyte or like a apprentice monk to keep, or someone who had like a dedication to a certain ascetic order that was all about minimalism. Just a bed and a table for mixing something. It looks like some of them may be poisonous.
Am I allowed to look around the room to see if the alms box or the opal is there?
Yes, your eye peers under the bed and you see the alms box. It's opened, but you don't see the opal there. Your eye turns. It turns. It approaches the moon-masked Vetral Far. You see within her robes a shape, and then it all pops away as you return, and you find that the door in front of you is open, and oh, a friend has come to visit. It's Gaff. He pushes you against the wall and says, "Ah, stupid gnome. You know too much. And now he's touched you up to the eye. But you're going to tell me what I want to know. You have that gift now. You should be making yourself useful to us. That is why we keep you around, you know. Barrel would have slit your throat once he was done with you if you couldn't be useful."
Well, what did you want to know?
Is your tribe trying to get involved in all this, or are you acting alone?
I'm going to shout for help and make it seem like I got hurt really bad.
He's gonna say, "Damn it, wait! Where is the purry peach?" And the satyr's like, "I don't know, I put one in her mouth. Fuck."
Oh, now you guys
How did
taking
I?
notice?
Yeah, he did not notice that at first. He's like, "Ah, damn it." You do hear some footfalls as you see Conrad finding his way through the shadows and saying, "Hey, well, what's going on over here?" Gaff says, "None of your damn business. We're talking to the prisoner." "Hey, that's our prisoner. Don't manhandle her. She could be a valuable hostage." I find your presence here tedious. Get out of here, Conrad. Hey, I had orders to... Oh? To what? Guard this? The other satyr snarls and says, "Negligent in your duties. What if Lord Hanaka knew?" And Conrad's like, "Oh, please don't tell him that I abandoned my post. Someone else relieved me." "Yeah, we did. Get out of here," and he never hears about it. Conrad proceeds to, like, disappear around the corner, unless you say or do anything while he's here.
I try to make, like, a show that, like, they're really hurting me, I guess.
Give me a performance. Oh, no.
You want to get in trouble for this, bro?
Conrad's like, "Hey, you can't be that rough with the prisoner." And Gaff says, "Ah, fine." So he lets you down and he steps back, and then he raises his hand and shouts something, curling, snarling, and vines dance out around you as you give me a strength save.
Well, this isn't gonna... Oh, this is not gonna go well. Oh.
Oh, nice. Yeah, actually, you are not restrained, and he looks surprised. He's like, and Conrad laughs a little. He's like, oh, ho, ho, ho. That's some trick you have there. Maybe you could grow a flower next. Gaff just sort of like, grunts, and the other satyr leaves and like stalks after him. Conrad's like, oh, whoa, I didn't mean like that. I'm going. And Conrad like fucks off, and the other satyr says, "We don't have a lot of time." And Gaff says, "Fine."
Can I try to close the door before they come back in?
Yeah, you can try and like just like push the door shut. It is presently unlocked, but you can push it shut.
Yeah, it seems like it opens towards me though, so it might be easier to keep it closed. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, one assumes that it has like it's like a swivel or something. But yeah, Gaff is gonna try and like contest you here. So you want to give me a strength at advantage?
Oh, with advantage.
Strength check. Or you use strength athletics if you have that with advantage.
Oh no, that's acrobatics. I was like, it's all the same to me.
Yeah, so Gaff manages to push the door regardless, and he forces his way in and says, "You can't. Listen, you troublesome little gnome. I think I've had enough of this. Tell me." He gesticulates to like where your hair has been cut. "Looks like you're missing a little off the top. Are you looking to miss a little more?"
I'm assuming he's like blocking the whole entrance, right?
Yeah, he's like steps in front of you, blocks your path. I mean, you know.
I'm gonna cast Druidcraft and snuff out the torch if I can. Oh gosh,
Indeed.
please don't.
And yeah, so you also are dangerous to go alone. So you snuff the torch, and at just that moment, you hear two footfalls coming as a Naginata warrior and someone very deliberately dragging a chain emerges. You see again what you saw earlier. A black iron Kusarigama, and it's being wielded by this winter elf. You also see the Naginata warrior who waves her blade and says, "Get away from her. It's our prisoner and she's very valuable." Gaff snarls and says, I'm tired of these interruptions."
Fight.
Yeah, so they seem like they're on the verge of some sort of a physical conflict when you see a dryad emerge from the chamber with the boats. She looks around and says, "Why are we fighting?" And the Naginata warrior levels her blade at the satyrs and says, "We're not fighting. Yet." Moonmaster Petrofar moves as if though wounded, compensating with her gait as something twists around inside of her. She's already bloodied. She steps closer. The satyr turns around, covers his hand over his short sword and says, "Don't test me." But his voice isn't in it. He doesn't seem to think he's any match for this already wounded woman. He backs up and says, "Gaff, this isn't worth it. We'll come back later." The dryad says, "Please, the prisoner is wounded. Let me tend to her. I'll need these satyrs to assist me." The Naginata warrior says, "What? No. I don't trust any of you. What was that about to come out of the mouth of a woman who's pledged her loyalty to a nymph commander?" The Naginata warrior looks around, and the Vetralfar isn't there anymore. and she's stacked up 3-1, and she
Mm.
lowers her naginata and says, "Listen, I'm gonna make this really clear, Gaff. If she dies, and then the Naginata warrior is just gonna go out ahead, and fucking sweep her Naginata twice across the Dryad's face, and actually strikes her down. There is now blood all over the ground. As the Dryad reaches up a hand, totally mauled, the Satyr pulls out his sword and leaps in front of him. She backs up just a bit and says, You see that the blood slicked is almost a little bit clearer than it should be from a regular human. And she says, if she dies, you're next. She flicks the blade, spattering the Ikari blood across the ground, and then says, "You know she's watching from the shadows," before backing off to the edge of visual range herself. Gaff says, "Oh shit, oh fuck," and he is going to go ahead and give a shake of some soothing spores. Now, actually, can temporary HP wake people up in the rules? We'll say he also tries to use some of his medical knowledge, but he steps out pretty immediately to take care of it. The door is open behind him. And this satyr is super on guard, looking around at all of the shadows and everything around him.
But it is dark.
Yeah, because the torch ain't lit.
Lonnie's gonna step out and do a medicine check on her.
Okay. So Gaff looks up surprised, but then sees what you're doing and doesn't stop you.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
with
you managed to tend to her. Her face is now terribly scarred, but she has an X pattern across it. But she looks up at you and reaches out to touch your face and says, "Thank you." And yeah, you feel as if though the gravity of her personality is tearing you down to earth. As if though a great weight is upon you even to look into her eyes. She's striking. Her soul is a forceful thing. The satyrs say, "They're getting too bold, Gaff. This isn't worth it. Tell Vero we need to leave." Vero doesn't listen to me. He looks at Lonnie and says, "You. Tell me. You didn't leave your tribe by choice, did you? Otherwise, why would you be wandering with degenerates like those? Working as a mercenary? That's not the way of your people. You don't lust for gold. Say, why don't you join me?"
That's not very compelling after everything you've done. That's the satyr that fucking took my hair, isn't it?
I think it's actually this satyr that cut the hair.
Yeah, but that satyr's there. Yeah, she looks at the hair. I think he tucked into his belt.
Mm-hmm. And the satyr taps it and he's like, "Hey, I can give it back if you join us."
Why would I join you when I still have a tribe to go back to?
You don't need to join us forever. We're not asking for a blood oath here. Just, we'll take a stroll out of here. They look around. They're afraid of the shadows now. and it is very dark with that torch snuff. The satyr says, "Damn, that elf must have put out the torch."
Can I try to like minor? Oh, please don't tell me it has a verbal. Yeah, it doesn't have a verbal component. I think I'm gonna try to minor illusion behind, like, secretly, and make it seem like the shadows are moving somewhere.
Okay, where do you want the shadows to appear to move?
Just out of the corner of their eye.
All right. So, and that's a whiz save, right?
It is intelligence if they want to investigate it. So specifically investigation.
Well, they'll have disadvantage. Because they are seeing what they want to believe, or they're seeing what they're looking for. Confirmation bias. So they both jump at different shadows. Say, there, no, there. The dryad rises and reaches out to take Lani's hand and says, "Come with me. I can put you somewhere safe, somewhere away from this metal cage."
But that would mean you would get hurt again, wouldn't it?
I'll take you somewhere that mean person can't hurt us.
I'd rather not risk you losing any more blood.
If she's willing to do that to someone who's bandaged her comrade's wounds, imagine what she'll do to me next. Come, please.
Well, she won't have a reason to if I'm still here.
The dryad looks at you, and with a sort of detachment from reality, yet vague. I mean, roll an insight to see what's in her eyes. Yeah, it seems like she's almost like bemused by this turn of events, but also like kind of concerned. Seems like she's maybe not so sure about hanging out here anymore. Seems like she's got something devious in mind.
Oh, you're hurt. You should maybe go to that safe spot, and if I'm still here, then they won't come looking for you.
Alright, so the dryad just sort of wordlessly ascends the stone steps, and Gaff comes. So this satyr walks up next to you and points a sword at you and says, "Hey, you in the shadows. If you do anything untoward, something bad's gonna happen." Gaff then takes you by the shoulder and starts to pull you back towards your cell. Do you do anything about that? You try and dodge, you try and weave, you try and make a break for it?
I do not like them. I'm gonna try to break away from them.
Alright, yeah, give me that, give me like a dex save, I'd say. Alright, and Gaff's gonna try and give you a slap. He's not gonna successfully give you a slap. You scramble away. The satyr, he's like halfway looking into the shadows, so he doesn't get an op on you because he's too distracted. Yeah, so Lani, you are like, I mean, free and clear here. No, not the turn order. You're like, okay, so they're about to be on you, right? Where do you go and how do you do so?
Man, maybe I should have looked for a way out with that eye. I'm going to turn this corner and hope they can't see me, and then minor illusion, some footsteps still going forward.
Roll me make me a stealth with advantage.
Yay, advantage. I'm assuming it's been a minute since I've cast guidance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh.
You feel an almost paternal shadow fall over you.
20 and a 1. Okay.
The darkness around you thickens, and the light ahead of them grows. Gaff and the other satyr say, "Shh, we can't let her get away." as they move through the darkness. The darkness around you unspools, its preternatural deepness proceeding, almost as if the shadows themselves sought to hide you.
What's your name?
You hear no response.
You seem hurt. Why didn't the Dryad heal you?
You don't hear a response, but you do hear the sound of someone sliding a box around a corner. You see your alms box right here.
I pick it up. Is there anything inside of it?
Yeah, there is. Inside of your alms box, you see an opal. It seems as if though it's the same one you came in with.
Based on last time though, is there something I could do, like just double check if that's like an investigation, I guess?
Yeah, you could roll an investigate or an arcana.
Oh, that normal.
You poke it, it seems real enough. You could also roll me that arcana though. You can discern no difference from the original opal. This must be it. It feels solid, has heft in your hand, you can touch it. It would require a masterful illusion to pull those things off.
Thank you.
Silence meets you.
I'm just gonna wander forward a little bit and get to know my surroundings a little bit better.
You see a big boat here. You kind of remember seeing it from across the way earlier, and in the light of a torch, you can see an elf on the lookout. You're still under the 20 stealth, though, for now, until you do something that's very much giveaway. You also see a lit torch around the corner. You see Gaff and the satyr looking around, talking to these guys, saying, did you see anything? What, like the prisoner? No, just anything, like, I don't know, a large rat.
I'll wander back over to the boats and try to not giggle.
Yeah, you see stacked boats on boats on boats. It seems like they are, pulled out from here and then put into the underwater river. Underwater river. Wow. Is this SpongeBob? No, underground river.
Apparently the underwater rivers actually can exist.
I mean, in a sense.
Yep, just kinda...
Yeah, so you're just like wandering around, right?
Yeah, I think this might... Actually, no, I'm gonna...
To the south, you see an unnatural set of stones. Like man-made.
Okay. And I'm just gonna peek around this corner.
You see the ledge that you saw over before, and in the shadows, you see this Naginata warrior peering at the satyrs.
Okay, time to hurry back and not be in trouble. And I'm gonna hide the alms box in my folded up vestments.
Alright. The door is unlocked. Do you want to just like push the door closed?
Sure.
Alright. For the moment, it seems to be closed. Indeed. Now let me just... Yeah, so... You're just hanging out right now, right? So you go in there, do you pretend to be asleep? Do you do anything else? Or are you just in there?
If it sounds like no one's gonna come, I'm just gonna like peek at the opal, and I know I already did an Arcana check, but I've been meaning to do this for a while. I want to see if I can find out more about the opal, since I was given to it by a weird, creepy owl.
And how would you like to try and find out more? What do you do to it? Can you think of another skill that might be relevant? Or is there any activity you would like to undergo? Anything you have that's introduced to it? Want to do to it?
Is there like when I did like the ritual day, did it seem like the magic or whatever was like connected more to like my eyes, or?
Yeah, it seems like you're connected to your eyes.
Although that is also risky. I'm just gonna inspect it first to see if it's like a naturally formed opal.
Yeah, can you give me a nature? So, you never took a great interest in mineralogy. Or I mean, maybe you did, but this just didn't come up.
I'm going to probably make a mistake and touch it to one of my eyes.
When you do, which eye, first of all?
My left eye, sure.
An ink blot blossoms out from the cold, weird touch. And your left eye is pitch black. You feel something hazing at your brain as you make me a wisdom save. I would say that the racial bonus applies.
Yay. Not like others.
You feel something seeping into your mind. Something dark. Something that closes in on you, and you collapse. But in the distance, you hear feet approaching, and through your good eye, you can see two people walking forward. Elves. Something about them speaks to you of the woad. One of them says, "Oh no. Already? They've made their move. We have to make ours. Come. Prepare for the ritual." They walk forward, take out a key, put it in the lock, realize that the door is unlocked, look between each other. One of them turns around, whips out a quarterstaff, as if they were expecting some form of violence. And, yeah, you begin to fade and lose consciousness as the door opens and they come in towards you, but you could roll me a con save.
Con save.
So, you feel yourself growing a whole lot less conscious than you were, as the void swallows you. Your eye casts a far gaze. You see rituals, shadows, shamans, a dance to the death, eyes of beasts, and finally, invading your very mind, Alice, you see a stark face. She turns, seeing you, and says, "Yes, the final ingredient." So,
I fucked up.
feedback phase.
I fucked up. Okay. Holy hell, I fucked up. Okay, sorry, I am still reeling over what just happened. This was fun. I really don't know what to say.
Like in a good way or a bad way? In a both way.
No, I think in a good way. I can't really think of anything that you could have done that was like in your power to improve. Like the single episodes are kind of fun, but also it is so much quieter without the rest of the game, and
Yeah. And it was lots of like, here's the guy who's posing you a weird question that you have to think about. And there's no like bantering or anything to like fill the void as that happens.
Yeah, but that like it fits the tone of whatever.
Games, thank you for the raid. Yeah, it does.
And yeah, like I'm glad this happened. But I can't wait to get back to the rest of the party. Like besides like the weird like black void stuff and that I don't really think of anything else to say. Just
other than the weird, so like the weird black void was good or bad or
no, just the like I couldn't see anything that was happening in the beginning, and I didn't realize that like, I was supposed to see. Because like I asked you about it in the beginning, you're like, yeah, no, you're supposed to see black, and then like you started like describing something.
I cheat because I was like at first you were, and then I thought that I turned on the lights, but I didn't actually confirm that because it didn't right. I gotta remember to shift ping more with these huge maps. Where, by the way, pro tip everyone: when you first load into a map as a player in particular, you will go to the top left of the map. As you guys can see, that is not something that the players are gonna see right now. But yeah, it is currently. So I would say turn. Yeah. So you thought it was fun overall, but like lacked other people.
Yeah. So like it's fun, and I do hope that like all the other party members like get a chance to do this at some point. But don't want it to be like a super regular thing because half the fun is the banter with the party.
What is something you want to see more
of? Gosh, I fucked up. What the fuck is gonna happen now? Good God. It was also fun delving into a bit of my backstory. And I did also really like the interrogation interview part, because I like twisting words, and that was a very good opportunity to do that. And I kind of want to see more of her so I can mess with her.
Oh, you may get a chance to see more of all of these characters next time on High Road this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern onwards. But yeah, anything else you'd like to add?
Good luck, rest of the party. I have no idea where the fuck I am in this place.
Amazing. Yeah. Indeed. Well. And we also love audience feedback if anybody has any. But if not, we can punt us on. Oh, Lerp says it was much quieter, but it was also a relaxing session to listen to. Well, I'm glad that we have the easy listening session down.
Glad someone was relaxed because I was kind of tense. Like, what the fuck is going to happen?
Oh yeah, Lani's got a lot of insights now, and many questions.
I can remember all of this.
Yeah, you got a covenant with an eye. Ooh, what's going on there?
God, I knew it was a bad idea. Why did I do that?
Yeah, it wasn't your character in peril, or true. But yeah, indeed. Well, thank you all for coming out. Let's all give Casey a round of applause for being a good sport. We had a great time. Yay! And yeah, we are going to kick our raid over to Welcome Party RPG. And remember, we are all very courteous and kind. Thank you for came to the raid. Thank you everyone for coming through. We love to see it. And yeah, I'm gonna kick you guys off in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Holy fucking hell! What did